Hi again then guys, and so we've got another Gran Turismo 6 drag spec setup for you today, and this time it's for a slightly underappreciated model, as many of the cars that I feature are. It's the Mazda MX-Crossport concept. So you want your racing soft tyres. For suspension we've increased the ride height to 200 front and rear. Springs we've lowered to 550 and 375. For the dampers we've got 4 for the front on compression, 1 on the back, and 4 on both for extension. Anti-roll as high as possible with camber and toe neutral. For the gearbox you want an auto setting of 180, then for the individual gears we've got 4.2, 2.7, 2, 1550, 1250 and 1025 with a final drive of 2.7. For the diff, high initial torque, high acceleration and low braking with a torque split of 30-70. All the power upgrades of course, and I will be using NOS on this run. And obviously you want the full weight loss package. Traction control I would always recommend having turned off, and as with most of my drag tunes I will be using an auto box, so if you do decide to use a manual you can of course be potentially quicker. So as always I like to put these up against faster vehicles which have pretty much every advantage on paper to show how they fare in real drag situations. So on this occasion we're putting this car up against an 811 horsepower Chevy Corvette, the 4th generation ZR1. So let's see how they compare. Now off the line of course the all-wheel drive gives the Mazda the advantage, but still that Corvette's got over 800 horsepower compared to this car's 465. Now for top end of course the Corvette will always win, but for around 800 meters this Mazda can outrun the 4th generation ZR1, and by extension lots of other vehicles with less power than that, so pretty impressive for a big SUV. This is one of the lesser powered SUVs that are on GT6 and one of, as I said earlier, the less appreciated models, but it's actually a really good car. It's one of the best handling SUVs in the game. It's relatively compact, and for its power it is seriously fast. Off the line you would think that not having a turbo etc would be a disadvantage for it, and although compared to some other higher powered SUVs it is, for a vehicle of its power it is still a force to be reckoned with. There are not many vehicles at all in this car's power range, say 450 to 500 horsepower, that can beat it, especially not in short drags. Now this is primarily a short distance drag tune. I wouldn't necessarily recommend using it for longer distance drags, but as always there are far too many specs to read out, so I will as always list those in the description below for you to check those out if you're interested in that. But for the highlights, this particular tune on this car hits 60 miles per hour in 1.4 seconds. It hits 100 in 3.7. It will do the quarter mile in a very impressive 8.7 seconds, which is seriously quick for the power. And it will do the standing mile in 22.8. And finally, it will even cover 5,000 meters, which is the middle section on the straight, so pretty much half of the straight, in under a minute from a standing start. So again, for a 465 horsepower car, it's very impressive. So if you decide to use this tune, I hope you find it fun, and it's definitely competitive for its power and for its vehicle type. And if you're new to the channel or just found this fun or interesting or helpful in general, feel free to subscribe. I put out new drag tunes every weekend and various other tunes and review videos in the week. And as always, thanks for watching.